Hi y'all, I'm Nana Banana, and this is the Nana Banana Cooking Show. Behind the camera, I have my Lily Billy goat. Yep. Today we are making beef stroganoff. As for our ingredients, we've got, I'm using sirloin steak. There's lots of different cuts of meat that you could use. I've got a small onion, eggshells, sour cream, cream of mushroom soup, beef broth, Worcestershire sauce, your normal seasonings, minced garlic, which we will actually use this time, and butter and a little bit of olive oil. Or you could use vegetable oil if you prefer, but I'm going to use olive oil because it's what I have. As always, while you're waiting in between takes, you can always be making some bad decisions. So today, to get me through this, I'm drinking a truly hard seltzer. So let's get cooking. Okay, so first we start with a few turns of olive oil in the pan. If you're going to use vegetable oil, you could do the same, just a few turns of vegetable oil. And then I've got a little bit of butter in the pan, and I'm going to let that melt down. Next, I'm going to add my sirloin steak. I slice this against the grain, not super thin. You don't want it paper thin. You also don't want it to be too thick. So just a medium kind of cut. It's probably hard to see generally how thin I cut these. Just, you want to have a nice meaty bite of
Nicki Minaj, is that you? Nicki, let's...
of the steak. But you don't want it to be too thick that it doesn't, it's going to take all day to get tender. So let this all melt down. And then you can pause it. So now that my butter and oil is all melted, I'm just going to add in my steak. Once my pan is nice and hot, more descriptors. I don't know what to do with my hands. Describe with your hands. Describe something. Describe what you're doing right now. Go. I'm letting this brown a little bit. Describe how you cut your onions. We all want to know. Okay. Once this has browned slightly, we can add in our onions. We dice our onion. It's just a small onion. We diced it, just a normal dice, nothing too big, nothing too small, because this is going to cook for a little bit, even our meat. And so it doesn't have to be super tiny. You'll see our meat is starting to brown here. I like giving the meat and the onion and the garlic an opportunity to come together and say, hey, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a bit. How's the family? They really come together. They get to know each other again. Don't be afraid to use the garlic. There is no such thing as too much garlic. While this is browning, we'll add some of our Don't be shy with that pepper either in this dish. Pepper usually gives it a nice pop. Then we have our onion powder. And our garlic powder. And as usual, we sprinkle everything until we hear our ancestors say, "That's enough, child." Just keep working everything until your meat's brown. Just brown. We're not gonna cook it all the way. We're just browning everything. Definitely when you have garlic in your pan, you want to keep it moving. Because the last thing you want to do is burn your garlic. You burn your garlic, no bueno. Bad. Very bad. It's going to taste nasty. Ain't nobody going to eat that. So, here I've got my meat looking pretty brown. I'd show you, but here our meat looks pretty brown. I'm going to add in my sauce that's easier to pronounce than your boyfriend saying "I love you." Worcestershire sauce.
You want me to move the camera closer?
Hmm?
You want me to move the camera closer?
No.
I'm moving it anyway.
You just put it enough till it feels right. That Worcestershire sauce is just gonna amp up the flavor of this. Beef and Worcestershire sauce just go hand in hand. It's like Q and U. They were meant for each other. Let all that come together for a moment. Then, now some people, you can use white wine. You could use just water. But I feel like if I'm cooking and there's an opportunity, if I'm supposed to add water, if there's an alternative such as beef broth or chicken broth or bone broth or something like that, I'd rather use something like that because again, it's just more flavor. If you're watching your salt intake, of course you could get something that's low sodium or something like that. But here in this family, we like salt. It's flavor. It's not overboard, but we enjoy our flavors in this family. So we are going to add some beef broth to this. And just enough to where everything's in a nice little bath. Not enough for the kids to drown, but just in a nice little bath. And then we'll put our lid on and we're going to let this simmer for a few minutes. Let's see, I turn this down to medium. And let this go for about 10 minutes with the lid on. And we'll be right back. Alright, so this has been cooking, well, simmering for about 10 minutes. Now what we're going to do is take the lid off and let it simmer, continue to simmer with the lid off so some of this juice evaporates a bit. You don't want it to evaporate completely. Just enough to where when you add in your cream of mushroom soup and your sour cream, it just sort of adds to the flavor. You want to keep that flavor of the meat and the onions and the Worcestershire and the everything in there. So I'm gonna let this condense a little bit and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're gonna kick our heat up a little bit. This has been simmering at about medium for a few minutes. We're gonna kick our heat up a bit higher so that way we can get this juice evaporated out of here. Same time, we're gonna also start our water boiling for our egg noodles. There's different types of egg noodles that you can buy. The brand doesn't necessarily matter. These are the no yolk, the extra broad. I asked, there's these dumpling size ones that are thicker. Then you've got broad, which is really skinny, and then extra broad is a little thicker. So Lily prefers the ones that are just a little more like thin ribbons. But any type of egg noodle will work just fine. And while we wait, we make bad decisions. What? Okay. So after letting this simmer for about 10 minutes, depending on your heat, okay, this is kind of what you want it to look like. You've got just a little bit of sauce in here, not a ton, okay? And at this point, you can have your heat on low, right? You're gonna add in our cream of mushroom soup and our sour cream. Also, if you choose to add in mushrooms, I actually did plan on adding mushrooms because my boyfriend likes mushrooms. Lily and I don't. I just forgot them. If you like mushrooms, add in a can of mushrooms or fresh mushrooms, your choice. It's whatever you want. My rule of thumb for Stroganoff is for every 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup, you would add 16 ounces of sour cream. You might feel differently if you don't like the sour cream. Add less, add more. It's really personal preference. Just what you like. So you can add a little at a time if you want to, like so. And just mix it in, just incorporate it nice. I really like the sauce, so I make sure to make a lot of sauce for this. I need to get me some wooden spoons. These plastic spoons, just not, they don't hold up to what this Nana's cooking. Let that come together a bit. So once you've mixed it pretty well, what you can do is on low, put your lid back on, and those flavors will, well, the sour cream and everything will melt a bit easier, a bit faster, and make it a little bit easier for everything to mix together. Alright, so this has been sitting for a little bit on low. That cold sour cream is warming up. It's coming together a little bit easier. See, it's created a nice thick sauce. If you like your sauce a little thinner, add a little bit more of your beef broth. Or your white wine if that's what you're using. And it'll thin that out a little bit more. I like a nice sauce that it'll stick to my spoon like it'll stick to my ribs. I like it to be nice and thick. At the same time, we've got our water boiling for our egg noodles. We add a generous, when I say generous, I mean generous amount of salt to it. Not only does it help to flavor the noodles, but it helps to flavor the dish altogether. It is an important step that a lot of people leave out. Always remember to salt your water. And because we're lazy, I'm going to use the same spoon to mix my noodles. I need a bigger pan for a noodle pan. If this Nana Banana is going to go anywhere, I'm going to have to upgrade after a bit. But in the meantime, we make do with what we have. Alright, when our noodles are done cooking, I'll be right back with you. Right, now that our nudes are done cooking, I'm going to drain them and I'll be right back. Okay, so our nudes are done cooking. Now it's time for the taste test. Alright, so today my taste tester is going to be Ryan. Come on. Come on. It's going to be hot. Be careful.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff.
So we get the thumbs up of approval? Alright. Well, we get the thumbs up of approval from Ryan. I know for a fact that Lily will enjoy it because I've been making this for a long time. And I hope that I get the thumbs up of approval from you as well. So that's it for Nana Banana. And just remember that the world is a better place with you in it.